like that. Oh crap, let me get that ammo. Oh wait, that was an empty box. Man, I wasted my energy for nothing. Okay, anyway, welcome to Firearms of America. Today, as you guys can see, I'm in a rush because I'm absolutely freaking starving. I'm so hungry, I didn't eat all day. I was here making these reviews. This is like my, I don't know, 5th or 6th video for today, but I don't mind it because I absolutely love doing this, bringing you the new content. I absolutely love doing it. Now, if you're brand new on this channel, or maybe if you're a big subscriber too, actually whoever you are, if you're a new subscriber or not a new subscriber, I want to make sure that you did not miss the crazy, absolutely crazy, massive giveaway that is happening between probably sometime right now and July, like end of July. So if it's not the end of July just yet, that means that giveaway is still running. It's a $7,000 handgun giveaway. You don't want to miss it. It's on this channel, or if it's not on this channel, it will be uploaded sometime very, very, very soon. So make sure you stick around for that. But this video is a comparison. It's not just a regular review, it's a comparison. It's a comparison between two concealed carry giants. Okay, the reason why they're giants, they're small guns, but they're giants because they're the most, probably the most, I want to say one of the most, but I would say it's probably the most popular options these days for concealed carry. We have Glock 43, the giant, the very, very popular choice for concealed carry. We also have Sig Sauer P365, a very, very, very popular choice right now. Excellent. Both of these choices, I mean, whatever you go with, it's an excellent choice for your concealed carry as a person. I mean, you can really, there isn't a lot of stuff that is better than these two. I wouldn't say better. Maybe as close, as good, but definitely not better. And this is like the top options. So let's start this comparison. We have Glock 43 chambered in 9mm, 3.4-inch barrel, 6 capacity magazine. We have Sig Sauer P365, and this is their micro nitron, whatever the hell version, basically the smallest version that they have for the P365, with good sights, not the stupid SAS sights. Good sights, actually a good gun, usable gun, chambered in 9mm, 3.1-inch barrel, and 10 capacity magazine. So yes, shorter barrel, more capacity magazine. Wow, that sounds already better, but a little bit of bigger profile when you compare the grips. So as you can see, this grip just a little bit fatter, and that's why they were able to implement actually a double stack magazine here in the Sig. As you can see, we have a double stack magazine. That's how 10 rounds get into it compared to your single stacked magazine here in the Glock, only 6 rounds. Now, yes, absolutely, you can get an extended magazine, all this blah, 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 but we're not gonna talk about the extended magazine in this video because we're obviously talking about the stock, 6 rounds versus 10 rounds. So we already have a little bit of advantage in the Sig. Let's do some shooting and we'll talk about some details. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to make a very educated, that's right. Don't expect anything educated from this channel, alright? But hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to make an educated consumer decision. That sounds legit. Sounds way too legit. Anyway, I'm gonna put 3 rounds in a Glock magazine, and Glock magazine, if you're familiar with them, if you're not, where have you been all this time? If you're not familiar with Glock magazine, check this out. Probably one of the best magazines out there, honestly, because it's nicely numbered. It's very easy to load. As you can see, right now we have 3 rounds, and it shows there. It's probably hard to see, but it shows there that there are 3 rounds in there. Now, cannot say the same thing about the Sig Sauer. Now, this is still a great magazine, plus it's steel compared to this one. It's polymer. So yeah, plastic versus metal. Which one do you like more? So here it's double stacked, but it's not windowed. I mean, it is windowed, but it's only windowed at 5 and at 10. That's it. So if you have 3 rounds in there, well, you're not gonna know that you have 3 rounds in there. Not a big deal. Still very easy to load. So a little bit harder to load compared to Glock magazine. And the reason for that is because in double stacked magazines, you typically do have a heavier spring, just because it needs to maintain that springiness. Immigrant here. The tightness of the spring, all right? You don't want the spring to get too loose. So here you have a tighter spring. It's a little bit harder to load in the Sig. Now you have a little bit more education about these two. Okay, so let's see. We have a bullseye open on the yellow right here. So that's where I'm gonna be aiming. I'm gonna start with Sig. Why not? I'll start with Sig this time. Tighter slide, obviously heavier spring in the guide rod because obviously short barrel. So you need the spring to be a little bit heavier to handle the recoil. I like the ergonomics of the grip, fantastic. Let's do some shooting. Trigger a little bit unpredictable. And you definitely feel that kick. Man. All right, so let's do the Glock. Easier to rack. Less of the recoil surprising on a Glock, but that's obviously because you have a little bit of the longer barrel. So with that extra 0.3 inch, whatever extra you have, obviously with that you have more mass to absorb that energy from the recoil. So obviously you have a little bit of less kick because more energy is absorbed by the gun itself, by the spring by the guide. So Sig Sauer, a little bit more kick, Glock, a little bit less kick. All right. Sig Sauer magazine, a little bit harder to load and a little bit harder to rack. Glock, easier to load, easier to rack. But keep in mind, less capacity and just a tiny little bit bigger. Okay, so let's talk about the grip, let's talk about the ergonomics. This is gonna be another important one. So let's start with the Sig Sauer over here. As you can see, here we have very nicely, it's not the hand stippling, it's laser stippling, but this is as close of a stippling to hand stippling as you can get. I love it. It's very nice. It's definitely plenty of aggression. Overall, the ergonomics of the grip are very pleasant to the touch. There is this very nice wave going under the beaver tail, so you can actually have your hand kind of sliding in there to get that perfect grip. I absolutely love it. The only downside here for me personally is that the slide release, and we're gonna move on further to the slide release, is a little bit far. It's you can't really use it as much as the pedal to hold you, to give you extra grip for, you know, recoil management compared to the good old flat, very flat slide release here, which is much closer. So even with short fingers like mine, I can easily catch this slide release, even though it's much flatter ergonomically compared to the one on the Sig Sauer. So positioning on the slide release, I do like much more on the Glock. Now, speaking of the grip on the Glock, this is your standard Generation 5, grip. This is the same thing, no finger grooves. Generation 4, Generation 5, they have the same pattern, except on the Generation 4 there are finger grooves, no finger grooves on the Generation 5. Not as much of aggression as on the Sig Sauer. Doesn't seem to affect it that much because it kind of handles the recoil better than the Sig Sauer. Still, you have excellent ergonomics here. Because this is a slimmer grip, it's much easier to get a full wrap around it, and because you have a little bit of a slide release, obviously if you prefer to have your finger on the slide release, with that, it's just, you know, it's most likely not going to lock on the last round, not going to lock back because you have your finger riding the slide release, which is fine for me. I don't mind it at all. But if you prefer your slide to lock back on the last round, obviously don't ride your finger on the slide release. Okay, let's talk about the mag release now. As you can see, very nice flat mag release button over here. Works very well, very easy to catch again. Now on the Sig Sauer we have this triangle mag release, and it works very well as well, and it's very flat, low profile, I do like both of them. Now, moving on further, as you can see, there is no serrations on the trigger guard, and there is a little bit of the wave going underneath the trigger guard here, giving you a better, again, sliding it in kind of for almost like a finger groove, just one here, so you can have your arm, hand, palm, whatever, just going up there, you know, because that's what you want. You want it like up there, okay? Good. It's good when it's up there. Now on the Glock, unfortunately, there is no cutout here. I mean there is, but it's not as much as on the Sig Sauer. But on the plus side, at the front of the trigger guard, you see there are some serrations. So for the smaller guns like this, I do like to have the serrations at the front of the trigger guard because you can do this compared to this. This, sometimes, if, for example, your pinky does not fit on the grip, this kind of helps because you have a little bit of the extra something going over. Instead of going like this, you now slide up. And now your pinky doesn't have to hang around here. It can lay on this. And you see what I mean. Okay, hopefully you see what I mean. If you don't, then I freaking wasted your time. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about the slide. Now on the Glock, as you can see, like I said, it's very easy to rack, surprisingly, because you would expect to have a heavier recoil spring in such a short barrel, but it's very easy to rack. The aggression on the slide serrations are pretty aggressive, so it's very easy to catch onto it. However, you want to rack it this way. There are no serrations at the front, as you can see, and there is no accessory attachment because it is a slim line, so it's you see, slim. Overall, the ergonomics though are fantastic. Very easy to conceal because it's such a low profile overall, such a slim gun. All right, let's talk about the Sig Sauer now. We have the accessory rail on the Sig Sauer because it's not slim, although there isn't really that much of the difference in width. So Glock, I don't know what you guys been thinking. Yes, Sig Sauer is just a little bit thicker, but do you really want to sacrifice that amazing laser that you might have on your accessory rail? Okay, maybe screw the laser, but the flashlight, now we're talking. Well, I don't know, whatever else you like to put on your accessory rail on small guns. Honestly, I don't like anything on the concealed carry guns, but nevertheless, you have an option like that in the Sig Sauer. You don't have an option like that in the Glock. Not too good for the Glock. Okay, so now, speaking of the slide itself, we have serrations on the back and on the front compared to the Glock. So here on the Sig Sauer, you can rack it like this, you can rack it like this, you can rack it like this, however you want to rack it, you know. Probably don't rack it like this, but you can rack it however you want. So good job there, Sig Sauer. Let's do some more shooting. And then I'll put some 3 rounds here, 3 rounds there. And then we will talk about the sights and we will talk about the trigger. And I think that would be like the final thing that will help you make the decision. And then you can go and you can really be educated. Just don't tell anybody where you got your education from. All right. So if you don't want to have like problems with like ATF or something. Okay, so 3 rounds in the Glock, 3 rounds in the Sig Sauer, and this time I'll concentrate on the sights, and I will concentrate on the trigger. Okay, let's start with the Glock this time. Okay, actually, you know what? I'll try to hit those flippy pedals, and I'll make it harder for myself. Ooh, I fixed it, yes! Alright, so 2 out of 3. Although I fixed the 1, so it's kind of not, never mind. So let's see if the Sig Sauer can do the same. Alright. Come on. It's just jumpy, that's why it's kind of hard. I'm just a terrible shooter, it's not the gun, it's me. Okay. So, let's talk about the sights. If I'm completely honest, I like the sights on the Sig Sauer way more than I like the sights on the Glock. Look at this. I mean, these are just great. Check this out. These are standard 3-dot sight. You have a little bit more accent on the front side. As you can see, there's like a little green. And I am pretty sure these sights are night sights. Let me turn on the light. Light. Yeah! Okay, so these are definitely night sights on the Sig Sauer, and these are definitely not night sights on the Glock. Yes, this doesn't, yeah, I know. Plus, if you never looked through the sights on the Glock, they're weird, okay? This is this weird bar going in the back, and then you align it with the front. You can get adjusted to it like I did. It doesn't really take any time. I'm just complaining too much. But I'm not a fan of Glock sights. But as you can see, for some reason, it does a better job. So that's a little bit of a dilemma. Anyway, let's talk about the trigger. So, trigger on the Sig Sauer, like I've mentioned, there's a little bit of unpredictability, but we'll try to figure it out right now. So you have a very safe, very familiar travel over here, just about 3.5 millimeters, all right? And then you have, see, it's like, it's not as defined of the stage. So this is defined, this is easy. But this, what is this? One, and then, okay, let's try again. So, see that? One, and then this, and then this, and then good crisp break, but that unpredictability before it gets to the crisp break is a little bit hard to figure out, and I think that's why I'm having trouble hitting more accurate shots with this particular gun. Now, I can't say that the Glock trigger is any better. I mean, it's Glock trigger. If you have shot Glock, you know how it is. It's very simple. It's all the same on pretty much all the guns. The only difference is just a little bit on weight. On shorter barrel guns, Glock tends to put a little bit of the heavier trigger, and on the longer barrel, a little bit of a lighter trigger. But really, the difference is like 2 newtons or something like that, whatever, 2 N's. Maybe it's not newton, maybe it's like, and whatever. Anyway, you get the point. So we have standard Glock Glock trigger over here, as you can see, with our safe action system, and this is one of the things kind of implemented for safety. Drop the gun, it's not going to fire because there's a safe action system. Although there should be something like this in this gun as well, but it's not as obvious. But to me, this is more of a psychological thing. So you have the finger on the trigger before you have the finger on the trigger. Kind of helps. Now you have, again, very safe, very familiar travel, about 3.5 millimeters, maybe a little bit more. And then you have, just in case, so safe, familiar travel, and then, let's see, one, actually, let's try it easier. One, a little bit easier, one, this, and then crisp break. So, one stage, 2 stage, 1 stage, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's easier to adjust to this trigger compared to the Sig Sauer. Now again, it might be if you're more adjusted to Sig Sauer triggers, because in all the newer Sig Sauer pistols, very, very similar trigger. If you're adjusted to that, it might be easier for you to adjust to this one. I am more adjusted to the Glock trigger, so for me it is much easier to deal with this one. One thing I wanted to point out in Sig Sauer though, whenever it comes to the safety, because you're like, well, there's a safe action system on the Glock, but what kind of safety features are there on the Sig Sauer? Well, on the Sig Sauer, you actually have a very cool feature. It's the loaded chamber indicator. And there is, I say indicator because it's just a cutout. And I'll put one round of the chamber so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So now there's one round in the chamber, and you can see that round through the barrel because there is this cutout loaded chamber indicator. Compared to the Glock, Glock does not have it. I think that's a huge plus. Besides being that, obviously there are so many different variations whenever it comes to P365. There's plenty of different options. The only thing is, whichever variation that you decide to go with, try to stay away from SAS. I've done a separate review on it if you want to check it out. It's just overall a really weird sights on that gun, and I couldn't really hit the target anywhere. So that's really the only thing. But other than that, whichever option you decide to go with, whether it's Glock 43 or Sig Sauer P365. I think both of these guns are absolutely fantastic option for concealed carry, as good as you get. The only thing is, with like any other gun, make sure to take it to the range so that you can test it out, so that you can adjust yourself to the sights, you can adjust yourself to the trigger, you can work on the grip, you can work on the mag changes, and your handgun is gonna serve you very, very well, as it should. So thank you very much guys for watching. I hope this video was useful for you. This was Firearms of America, and I'll see you guys in the next video.